There's so many horror movie couples from the late 90s and early 2000s that were still standing when the credits rolled. But if we're being real, there's no way they stayed together after that final scream. Let's take a look at Natalie and Paul from Urban Legend. One had trauma, the other had ambition. They were giving more true crime podcast hosts than long term couple. Then we have Steve and Rachel from Disturbing Behavior. Sure, they survived blue ribbon brainwashing, but that relationship was built on fear and mind control, not love. They may have made it out of the CB radio chaos, but it's hard to imagine that Lewis and Bennett from Joyride made it past spring break. He escaped the psych ward, she fought Freddy, but trauma bonds fade, especially when you find out he was almost possessed. So sorry, Lori and Will in Freddy versus Jason. Adam and Kate from Valentine, ain't no way. Sure, he's the only guy who didn't treat the girls like trash, but he was also a killer. Kate didn't know it, but we do. Let's be serious. Nicole risked the entire group for her dog. Nicole and Terry from Dawn of the Dead weren't making it. That's not ride or die, that's you're on your own. And from the ending of Dawn of the Dead, I don't think either one of them actually lived, so yeah. Lastly, Eddie and Sarah from House on Haunted Hill. Their entire spark was based on surviving ghost torture and Jeffrey Rush's mansion. Tell me what they even talked about on the helicopter ride home. Moral of the story, just because they lived through the horror doesn't mean they lived happily ever after. Sometimes surviving the killer is the easy part. Tell us some other horror couples you didn't think made it in the comments.